Hi YouTube, so I'm doing my video in a different location in my room because my iPad is out of battery um, and I've been slacking on the videos. So I got a question about undergraduates, what they should do, what courses that I would recommend them take, and internships, if any. Um, I'm gonna start. I think I kind of touched on this a little bit in some other videos. So if you already saw sort of my opinion on this, you can just move on. I'm gonna start by saying I don't think you have to do an internship or a specific course um, to get into law school. And I say that only because I did not. I didn't do internships. That are law related. I don't have anyone in my family that's a lawyer or anyone that I could call and say, hey, can I shadow you? I just didn't have that type of connections yet. Um, I don't, um, I didn't want to do pre law because when you do pre law in undergrad, it's a certificate, it's a program. It's not actually a undergraduate degree. So you still have to get an undergraduate degree. And I have a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice and a Bachelor of Arts in Spanish. I love Spanish and I wanted to travel abroad, and I knew my parents wouldn't let me travel abroad unless it was part of my education. So I made it part of my education. Plus, if you just randomly take Spanish classes, I don't know, you won't stick to it as much as you will forcing you to earn a degree towards it. So I did Spanish. Criminal justice I did just because I thought about criminal law, but that was the only thing that I wanted to do. I know a lot of students do philosophy because some of the classes prepare you for the LSAT, and that's helpful, but that's literally the only thing that I've heard of philosophy being helpful for as far as law school. When you get into law school, I'm going to say this again because I've said this in another video. Nothing prepares you for law school like going to law school. A couple of things I will say you do need to know. Try to figure out what your study habits are. What works for you? What method is best for you? Um, Try to figure that kind of stuff out because once you get into law school, you're going to need to know that. Um, Internships, I would say. So I am in St. Louis, and there's some nonprofit organizations that are happy to take free interns and high school students, and I've seen a few when in my capacity as a law student. So they've actually, and that's in bigger cities. Again, I don't come from a bigger city. I come from a really small town. So when I went home for summer break, there was nothing for me to do. I could ask a old person that's been practicing in my small town, and he's the only lawyer there, to shadow, but I didn't have that connection. I didn't think to do that. But if you want to do internships, law offices and those, especially those nonprofit places, are happy to take in free volunteers. If it's nothing more than learning how to do intake forms or following their intake forms, just working in the legal office could help you with some networking and maybe get to see a little bit of how it's done so you have a little bit more experience than I did. But it's not going to keep you out of law school if you don't, and if you don't have that opportunity. Additionally, courses that you can take, I mentioned philosophy. Some people talk about political science. I don't know why. Unless you're going into politics or something specific, government, maybe do political science, but I really don't know why that goes with law school. English courses, people want to take English courses for law school or major in English. That's fine. It's going to help you because you have to write a lot. It's going to help you because your grammar is going to be improved. Using things like semicolons, which most lawyers still don't know how to use, are going to be perfected, but it's not the end all be all. It's not going to help you when you get into law school and you're you're in legal research and writing and you're just going to have this edge up on everybody, that's not going to help you. If you have electives, so I'm an academic advisor, so I kind of know a little bit about how you piece together courses. So there's your program, and then sometimes you have your program requirements are a little short of your requirement to get a degree. So if your program requirements are 110 hours and then you need 10 electives to get 120 credit hours, electives are any courses that are not already required. So they can literally just be an added on concentration or a minor, major, whatever you call it, or another program, or just random photography classes that you were interested in and never had time to do. If you have electives, maybe I would suggest taking some of those pre-law courses because it gives you a little more insight than anything else. But don't feel like you have to do the pre-law certificate program thing, whatever you call it at your school. I think that some of my students took like mock trial, which was awesome, and I would have took just because I'm interested and I always wanted to go to law school, so it was the closest thing to it. There is a legal research and writing course in pre-law, so those courses do give you a little bit more of a taste than anyone else, any other program. I would definitely do those, but I'm not going to say you need to do it for law school, and I'm not going to say it's going to give you a leg up on everybody else, because it's not. I've mentioned this before, but I have paralegals and people who have lawyers in their family and people who did pre-law and English and all this good stuff in my class, and they have the same struggles and problems I had when I started law school. We were all in that together. We're all still starting law school. So I don't care who walks around bragging about, yeah, I've done pre-law and we did this course and I've been a paralegal for 10 years. You're still in the same class as me, so tone it down a notch. It really bugs me when people try to do that. So just remind yourself of that. You're not in competition with anyone, but yeah, those classes might give you a little bit more insight, especially if you're on the fence and you're not sure about law school. Then those classes might help you a little bit more. I would also say law schools are happy to have undergraduate students come in, and I can say this personally because I did this. St. Louis University specifically, but lots of law schools do this. You can get a tour, and not only can you get a tour, but you can sit in a class. They'll let you sit in a class and observe it and just kind of see how it goes. So speak to your admissions office, whatever school you're trying to go to kind of get a feel for it and get a little bit more insight into what you're getting yourself into. That's pretty much all I have for undergraduate recommendations. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. And I will see you on the next video because I have a couple to do today. Bye.